beyond the iPhone, what is it? What is the next thing that is going to be the driver of growth?
Well, let's just take a step back and talk about the iPhone for a second, right? It generates over half of the company's revenue as a standalone product. But almost the rest of all of Apple's revenue, from services to things like Apple Care to AirPods to Apple Watches, even iPads, Macs, Apple TVs, HomePods, all of these things are bought by customers because they have an iPhone or because they're in the Apple ecosystem, because they fell in love with the iPhone. There will never be another Apple product like the iPhone, something that sits at the center of the company and generates half of the revenue from a hardware standpoint and the other half from an attachment and services standpoint, right? So investors have to understand that and come to that realization. But there are little bets, more modest things that Apple will bring to market, some built around the iPhone, some completely standalone. And the hope for Apple investors is that you can stack up a bunch of $20 to $50 billion a year businesses, things about the size of the AirPods, Apple Watch, and iPad. So to answer your question, the areas that Apple is exploring and moving into, obviously headsets, but beyond mixed reality, going into pure augmented reality glasses or standalone glasses without displays. Things like expanded versions of AirPods that tap into AI. There have been explorations into home robotics, explorations into home energy, a way to monetize the health products into a subscription service, right? The big thing coming next year is a push into the smart home. Right. So for the first time, Apple's really going to dive 2 feet first into smart home appliances. So in the first half of next year, you'll see a push into smart home displays, right? A couple years after that, you'll see a new smart display with a robotic limb. So definitely a bunch of these little categories that they hope will add up into something bigger.
One key category that was new, innovative, and perhaps hasn't taken off in the way they expected was Vision Pro. But you're saying in this latest Power On that we finally got the killer app. Just talk us through it.
If you have a Vision Pro, and I know there's not many of us out there, you want to try, coming out in the beginning of next month, is a Vision OS 2.2 update. It's available in beta now. I've been using it. There's been this long-lasting Mac external monitor feature where you can put on the headset and you can view your Mac display in there. And it's basically an enlarged version of what's on your Mac right now, right? A lot of people, Vision Pros, use that. They're adding a new feature that allows you to add a wide monitor or an ultra-wide monitor. And so if you turn this feature on, you get a gigantic curved display that can go almost 360 degrees, and you can see what's on your Mac through that. And it's a really powerful tool and a great productivity use case for the Vision Pro. The problem is that the Vision Pro, if you're not laying down with your head on the back of a pillow or on your couch, it's often hard to wear the Vision Pro for extended periods of time. And the bands that Apple include in the box with the Vision Pro are part of the reason. There's a back of head band, and then there's a band that has a thin strap that goes behind the head on top of the head. Neither are very good for long-term productivity. But Belkin, this is a company that's owned by a Foxconn subsidiary, so they work very closely with Apple, came out with a new overhead strap that attaches to the back of head strap, and combined, you can wear it for longer use cases.